Good evening, everybody. I would like to call this regular meeting of council on June 21st, 2022 to order at 7 p.m. We'll stay seated for a moment of silent reflection. Thank you very much. As we gather this evening, I would like to acknowledge on behalf of council and our community that we're meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We would like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history. And we're extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. And this is actually National Indigenous Peoples Day. So that acknowledgement has a special meaning. So I have a resolution that the June 21st, 2022 Mayor's Address be accepted as presented. And the member seconded, moved by Councilor Burns, seconded by Councilor Robinson. I want to begin by acknowledging my omission in my mayor's address on June 7th, 2022. I failed to congratulate Councilor Robinson for her receipt of the Paul Harris Fowle Award in recognition of her outstanding community contributions at the Rotary Club dinner on May 14th, 2022. Having two members of our council receive this prestigious award is a significant accomplishment for the club. I would like to thank Chris Knapp, Community Development Officer for Hilleloo, Haggerty and Richards, for his success in securing a $51,000 grant for a 2-year digital service squad program involving 5 municipalities. And I would recommend we send a thank you letter to Mr. Knapp. In a remarkable display of community spirit and support, the fundraiser for Ukraine, sponsored by Vegan Butcher, is very successful. Once again demonstrating the compassion and generosity of Renfrew County residents. Special Projects Coordinator Cameron Montgomery was successful once again in securing a recreation grant for sports equipment and swim instructor training. And plans are underway for our candidate activities and pancake breakfast. Please let staff know if you are available to attend and help with the event. And that is my mayor's address. Councilor Burns. Yes. Councilor Buckwell.
Yes.
Yes.
Councilor Wright-Schoenfeld.
Yes.
And yes, it's carried. Thank you. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof? Being none. Then we'll move on to the adoption of the minutes. I have a motion that the June 7th, 2022 public meeting minutes and the June 7th, 2022 regular meeting minutes be approved as presented. Could we get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councilor Buckwell, seconded by Councilor Wright-Schoenfeld. Are there any additions, corrections, or omissions? Seeing none, Councilor Burns. Yes. Councilor Buckwell.
Yes.
Councilor Robinson.
Yeah.
Councilor Wright-Schoenfeld.
Yeah.
Yes, that's carried. Thank you. So moving on to reports. I have a motion that the council of the Township of North Algona Wilberforce authorize the mayor to sign a letter of concurrence for the Rogers Tower here on site C8512-Front Road and Martha's Road to be located at 146 Griffith Wagner Road. And further, the letter of concurrence is only a letter of acknowledgement that Rogers Communication has completed the default consultation process as required under CPC-2-0-03. And the letter is not a statement of approval or disapproval of cell towers being placed in the county. Made and moved and seconded, moved by Councilor Byrne, seconded by Councilor Buckwell. Comments or questions? Councilor Randy-Shonto.
I just think it's really important that the public realizes we're not voting on whether we agree or disagree with cell phone towers. We're simply agreeing with the fact that Rogers has done everything correctly in the eyes of the different governments, that they are constructing that tower on Krantz and Martha Road correctly. So I just want people to realize concurrence has nothing to do with the feeling of whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. It's simply that we are agreeing that Rogers did everything correctly.
Any other questions or comments? I would just like to add that I know from our strategic plan, something that was certainly identified as a high priority was improving our cell and internet connections and service. And this certainly is a step forward to do that. And it's an opportunity I think we need to seize. I know there certainly are areas in our municipality that don't have coverage and there are dead spots. And I think about our fire department and our paramedic services, which are all moving towards a digital platform that they would certainly appreciate and look forward to having those dead areas covered to better improve their response and service to the community. Seeing no other comments, I'll call for the vote. Councilor Burns? Yes. Councilor Buckwell?
yes,
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
Councilor Randy-Shonto?
Yes,
I'm a yes, that's carried. Thank you. Item 7.2 is Rogers Communication Tower Site C8624 Conant and Boulder Road. I have a motion that the Council of the Township of North Algona Wilberforce authorize the mayor to sign a letter of concurrence for the Rogers Tower here on site C8624 Conant Road and Boulder Road to be located at 1724 Boulder Road. And further, the letter of concurrence is only a letter of acknowledgement that Rogers Communication has completed the default consultation process as required under CPC 2-0-03. And the letter is not a statement of approval or disapproval of cell towers being placed in the township. Can I get a movement and seconder? Moved by Councilor Byrne, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Comments or questions? Councilor Randy-Shonto.
just to go on record that simply we are agreeing with the fact that Rogers has done everything in their powers to make sure that this is proper. It doesn't have anything to do with whether we approve or disapprove. Just so that's on the record.
Thank you. Any other comments? Seeing none, Councilor Burns? Yes. Councilor Buckwell?
yes,
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
Councilor Randy-Shonto?
Yes,
I'm a yes, that's carried. Item 7.3 is the Deacon Boat Launch washroom repairs. I have a motion that council accepts the report as presented and directs staff to proceed with the repairs to the Deacon Boat Launch washrooms. Can I get a mover and second? Moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Randy-Shonto. Comments, questions? Councilor Randy-Shonto.
will we be able to take that money for the $4,235? Perhaps there's some kind of infrastructure budget that we have?
Through the mayor. In 2022, we should budget $200,000 for capital assets repairs on the roads department, so we would be able to we utilize that money for the project.
Thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, Councillor Burnt. Yes. Councillor Buckwald,
yes,
Councillor Robinson,
Yes.
Councillor Reggie Schoenfeld.
Yes,
Anybody else? Carried. Item 7.4 is the Agri-Food Career Fair. I have a motion that council accepts the Agri-Food Career Fair report as information. I got over in the seconder, moved by Councillor Reggie Schoenfeld, seconded by Councillor Burnt. Comments or questions? I just have one comment. This is a really good news story once again. I think it's part of our strat plan as it relates to building partnerships with not just our neighboring municipalities, but some of our outside agencies. And I did bring tonight the newsletter I just received. It's the Renfrew County Farm News. And they have referenced in their newsletter about the North Algona Wilberforce Township partnership with Fellows High School in Pembroke on this Agri-Food Career Fair. So once again, I think it's fantastic that we are building those partnerships in our community. Call the vote. Councillor Burnt. Yes. Councillor Buckwald.
yes,
Councillor Robinson.
Yes.
Councillor Reggie Schoenfeld.
yes,
I mean, yes, it's carried. Item 7.5 is the swim program. I have a motion that the committee accepts the swim program, which is, I guess, council accepts the swim program update report as presented, and further that the swim program be offered at Golden Lake, Island View Drive Beach area 1 day a week. I got a mover and seconder. Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Burnt. Comments, questions? Councillor Reggie Schoenfeld.
just why at the Golden Lake Beach?
I'll turn to staff to see if they have an answer.
Okay, so through the mayor, so staff was contacted by township residents to see if there would be a way that swim lessons would be able to be offered 1 day a week at Golden Lake. It is being offered now on Lake Dory. And staff member investigated, and the island, there is a beach area at Island View Drive, and which would be available to offer the lessons. And the residents of the municipality were also willing to provide a dock for the area and porta potty facilities to allow the lessons to occur. And it also it provides so rather than it helps spread the lessons out over the area of the municipality.
Okay, thank you.
And again, oh, sorry, Councillor Buckwald.
yes, Mr. Mayor. The only concern I have that hopefully staff can address is that location is right next to the road, so we would probably have to look at limiting numbers there for safety reasons. There's not a lot of space depth. The beach is fairly, the frontage isn't bad, but it's really not deep. So we just have to be cognizant of the proximity to the road at that location.
Thank you, Councillor Buckwald. The only comment I have is that I know how much work this was for Cameron, because I guess what was discovered is in the 2 years of COVID, there was no opportunities for our youth to get training in order to become certified swim instructors or even lifeguards. And I know it's just not an issue for our municipality. I think it's every municipality in Renfrew County, as well as as I said, listening to the CBC program this week, a lot of the summer camps are having exactly the same problem. Finding qualified lifeguards and even finding camp counselors, to the point where they're having to cancel some of their programs, which again, it's a detriment to our youth because they can't take advantage of those programs. So call the vote, Councillor Burns? Yes. Councillor Buckwell?
Yes.
Councillor Robinson?
Yes.
Councillor Reggie Longfellow?
Yes,
I'm a yes, that's carried. Thank you. Item 7.6 is the Tourism Information Center. I have a motion that council accepts the Tourism Information Center report as information. Mover to second, moved by Councillor Reggie Longfellow, seconded by Councillor Burns. Comments or questions? Councillor Reggie Longfellow.
I'd like to thank Cameron for all her hard work she's done in this past couple of months, finding all this money that's just waiting for us to use. So Cameron, wherever you are, thank you so much for writing and getting these grants going.
And I want to follow up and just say that I ran into one of the board members for the Shaw Woods Outdoor Education Center, who was very, very pleased that in partnership with the municipality, we were able to secure that funding because their part of the grant is the expansion of the parking lot, which keeps some of the vehicles from parking on the shoulder of the road, which also creates more of a risk for people walking down the shoulder of the road. So part of the plan for the new parking area is also to build a path from that parking area to the current site so people don't have to walk along the shoulder of the road. And, that's where our new tourist information kiosk will also be. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, Councillor Burns? Yes. Councillor Buckwell?
Yes.
Councillor Robinson?
Yes.
Councillor Reggie Longfellow?
Yes,
Yes, that's carried. Thank you. Item 7.7 is summer council meeting schedule. I have a motion that council accepts the summer council meeting schedule report as presented and cancels the regular meetings of council scheduled for July 19th, 2022 and August 2nd, 2022, and further reschedules the August 16th, 2022 meeting to August 23rd, 2022. And then move to seconded, moved by Councilor Byrne, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Comments or questions? Seeing none, Councilor Burns? Yes. Councilor Buckwell?
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
Councilor Reggie Longfellow?
yes.
Yes. It's carried. Thank you. Item 7.8 is the revised summer hours. I have a motion that council accepts the revised summer hours report as presented. Seconder. Moved by Councilor Buckwell, seconded by Councilor Robinson. Comments, questions, Councilor Robinson?
If we're going to be closed, as it's stated in Wednesday, what's going to happen with the Golden Lake office that opens on Wednesdays?
Yeah.
Through the mayor. So the plan was to have a Golden Lake office remain open during that time. The usage of that building does allow staff to work on projects and work at their backlog of work. So we feel that it can remain open during that time.
Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, Councilor Burns? Yes. Councilor Buckwell?
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
Yeah.
Councilor Reggie Longfellow?
Yes,
I'm a yes, that's carried. Okay. Item 7.9 is the library June report. I have a motion that council accepts the June library board and CEO report as presented. We're going to move in a second, moved by Councillor Burns, seconded by Councillor Buckwell. Comments or questions? Just reading the report, it's nice to see that our numbers are certainly improving and getting back to where they were pre-COVID. And especially in the youth program, I was really impressed to see the number of youth that are coming out and attending. I'll call the vote. Councillor Burns? Yes. Councillor Buckwell?
Yes.
Councillor Robinson?
Yes.
Councillor Reddy-Schonfeld?
Yes.
Yes, that's carried. Thank you. Item 7.10 is the service agreement. I have a motion that council authorizes the clerk treasurer to enter into a planning services agreement with the county of Brantford for core planning services as well as non-core planning services, and that the non-core planning services will include the administration of zoning bylaw amendment applications, official plan amendment applications, minor variance applications, and site plan control applications. Can I get a moving seconder? Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Buckwell. Comments or questions? Councillor Reddy-Schonfeld?
On the second page of the report, it just says financial implications. Additional cost per application would be $50. So what does that look like for everybody that?
Okay, so for example, currently the county cost for a zoning bylaw amendment is $850, which the applicant pays. So that would mean that would increase by approximately $50, so that would be increased to $900.
So kind of every application would be an additional 50. Okay, thanks.
Any other comments? Seeing none, Councillor Burke? Yes. Councillor Buckwell?
Yes.
Councillor Robinson?
Yes.
Councillor Reddy-Schonfeld?
Yes.
Yes, that's carried. Thank you. Item 7.11 is the administration update report. I have a motion that council accepts the administration report as information and directs staff to schedule meetings with county planning staff to review the zoning bylaw. And I got over to second, moved by Councillor Burns, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Can we bring that report up, please? So if I just like staff to speak to, I know these changes have just come about on the Bill 109 on the site plan control decisions. And there's a couple more that could affect us, but probably not immediately. If Michelle, if you can just speak to that, please.
Okay, so Bill 109. Okay, so recently the province approved Bill 109. So it made several changes to the Planning Act, and one of those changes was that before site plan control decisions could be made by council or a committee of council. However, now it's mandatory that they need to be made by staff. So, and this change needs to be implemented by July 1st this year. So staff then need to, by bylaw, delegate this authority to a member of their staff. So I have prepared, and it's a little later in the meeting, I have prepared bylaw 2022-35. So that delegates the authority for site plan control decisions to the clerk treasurer.
And the other item is the unfinished items, something that council was looking for just some updates on. So I'm glad to see that that's also going to be provided at the next meeting, as well as the terms and reference that will come back to the next meeting, and that provides council an opportunity to review them and see if there's anything we want changed or added.
Yes, it gives council ample opportunity to be able to review it.
Thank you very much. Any other comments or questions? Seeing none, Councilor Burns? Yes. Councilor Buckwald?
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
Councilor Reddy-Schonfeld?
Yes.
Yes. Carried. Thank you. So item 9.2.1 is the district municipality of Muskoka. I have a motion, whereas the Township of North Algona Wilberforce received correspondence from the district municipality of Muskoka and supports their resolution in regards to a request to the province of Ontario to amend Ontario Regulation 380/04 under the Emergency Management and Civil Protection Act to provide an exemption to the annual exercise requirements for municipalities that have activated their emergency control group and or emergency response plan in response to an actual emergency that year. And that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to the Honorable Doug Ford, Premier of Ontario, MPP John Yakubuski, the Honorable Steve Clark, Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, and the Honorable Sylvia Jones, Solicitor General. Can you get a mover in a second? Moved by Councilor Reddy-Schonfeld, seconded by Councilor Burns. Comments or questions? Seeing none, Councilor Burns? Yes. Councilor Buckwald?
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
Councilor Reddy-Schonfeld?
Yes.
Yes, that's carried. Thank you. I have a motion, whereas the Township of North Algona Wilberforce received correspondence from the town of Aurora in regards to private members bill C-233, Kira's Law, and supports the town of Aurora's resolution calling upon the House of Commons to support Member of Parliament Andrew Dillon's private members bill C-233 that will raise the level of education on domestic violence and cohesive control for federally appointed judges. And whereas violence against women is a Canadian public health crisis that demands urgent action, and whereas an inquest began on June 6, 2022 into the 2015 murders in Renfrew County of Carol Culleton, Anastasia Kuzak, and Natalie Warner-Dam by Basil Baruski, who had been convicted of assault against women. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be sent to the Right Honorable Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, the Honorable Marina Gould, MP, Minister of Families, Children and Social Development, the Honorable Candace Bergen, Interim Leader of the Conservative Party of Canada, is Francois Blanchette, MP, Leader of the Bloc Québécois, Dagveen Singh, MP, Leader of the New Democrat Party, and MP Cheryl Gallant. And be it further resolved that this resolution be sent to Premier Doug Ford and MPP John Yakubuski. Did I get a mover and seconder? Moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Burns. Comments and questions? Seeing none, Councilor Burns? Yes. Councilor Buckwald?
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
Councilor Reddy-Schonfeld?
Yes.
And a yes, that's carried. Thank you. And 9.2.3 is Mothers Against Drunk Drivers. I have a motion that council supports Mothers Against Drunk Drivers Canada program by purchasing a business card size ad in the amount of $299 plus tax in the message yearbook. I'm going to move over to seconder. Moved by Councilor Reddy-Schonfeld, seconded by Councilor Burns. Comments, questions? Councilor Burns? Yes. Councilor Buckwald?
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
Yes.
Councillor Reggie Stonebrook,
Yes,
and a yes, that's carried. Thank you. Item 9.2.4 is the town of East Gilwimberry. Whereas the township of North Algona Wilberforce received correspondence from the town of East Gilwimberry and supports their request regarding the resolution in regards to provincial bill 109, More Homes for Everyone Act 2022, that the government of Ontario revisit the provisions of bill 109 and work with all stakeholders, including municipalities represented by the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, to deliver legislation that allows municipalities to plan, grow, and deliver communities that adhere to local, provincially approved official plans, rather than strict statutory timelines. And that a copy of this motion be sent to the Honorable Doug Ford, Premier of Ontario, MPP, Caroline Mulrooney, and the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing. Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Reggie Stonebrook. Comments, questions? Seeing none, Councillor Burns. Yes. Councillor Buchwald,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
Yes.
Councillor Reggie Stonebrook,
yes,
and yes, it's carried. Thank you. Item 9.2.5 is the press release. I have a motion that council authorize the mayor to sign a letter of gratitude to be sent to Chris Knapp, Community Development Officer for Kellerwood, Haggerty, and Richards, for his success in securing a $51,000 grant for the 2-year Digital Service Squad program involving North Algona Wilberforce and 4 other municipalities. They can move in a second. Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Burns. Comments, questions? Seeing none, Councillor Burns. Yes. Councillor Buchwald,
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
Yes.
Councillor Reggie Stonebrook,
yeah,
and yes, carried. Thank you. That brings us to bylaws. I have a bylaw now, therefore, the Council of North Algona Wilberforce enact the following bylaw 2022-35 to delegate site plan control approval to the clerk treasurer in North Algona Wilberforce Township. Can I get a mover in a second? Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Rachel. Just like a question. Should it be clerk treasurer or municipal manager?
It should be clerk treasurer.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or questions? Councilor Reggie.
could we just put plan?
Yeah.
I was looking at that because I really thought maybe it was a pan, like a Pandora or something like that. So then I'm like, oh no, it is pan. Thanks, Michelle. Because I'm like, I'm thinking, because you never know, there's weird words that. Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments, questions? Councilor Burns. Yes. Councilor Buchwald,
Yes.
Councilor Robinson,
Yes.
Councilor Reggie Stonebrook,
Yes.
and yes. Carried. Item 14.1, landscaping and outdoor carpentry RFQ. I have a motion that council accepts the RFQ, landscaping and outdoor carpentry report is presented and accepts the quotation from Williams Sons for $71,623.98, including HST. Can I get a mover and seconder? Moved by Councilor Reggie Stonebrook, seconded by Councilor Buckman. Comments, questions? Just want to thank staff for the details on those and the breakdown from project costs. Councilor Burns? Yes. Councilor Buchwald?
Yes.
Councillor Robinson,
Yes.
Councillor Reggie Sonko.
Yes.
Yes, it's carried. And may the work begin. Item number 11 is matters of urgency. Are there any matters of urgency?
No.
Are there any notice of motions?
No.
Reports from committees have been covered. Upcoming meetings and unfinished business. So we dealt with the landscaping and outdoor carpentry. Our next regular council meeting will be July 5th, 2022. And now item 15 is that council will go into closed session pursuant to section 239, 2A, B, C of the Municipal Act regarding two personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, one, security of the property of the municipality or local board, and one, proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board. And I got over to seconder, moved by Councilor Sonko, seconded by Councilor Robinson, that we are in close at
7:37.
7:37 p.m. Councilor Byrne?
Yes.
Councilor Buckle?
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
Okay.
Councilor Sonko?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, thank you. We are in close. Councilor Byrne, seconded by Councilor Reggie Sonko. Councilor Byrne? Yes. Councilor Buckle?
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
Councilor Reggie Sonko?
Yes.
Yes. Carried, thank you. Tell me when we're good, Lauren. We're good? Okay. Item 16.1, I have a motion that staff take direction as directed by council in closed session regarding snowdrift development. Mover and second, moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Byrne. Councilor Byrne? Yes. Councilor Buckwell?
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
Councilor Reggie Sonko?
Yes.
Yes, that's carried. I have a motion that council directs staff to proceed as directed in closed session regarding human resources. Moved by Councilor Robinson, seconded by Councilor Buckle. First.
I've got a question.
Oh, sorry,
Should we always put in human resources there? Because if somebody was reading that.
it's
I
not,
mean,
it's actually titled 16.2 human
Okay,
resources.
so then it's just implied that that's, okay, thanks for that clarification.
Yeah, it's identified on the Councilor Buckle,
Yes.
Councilor Robinson,
Yes.
Councilor Reggie.
Yes.
Yes, carries, thank you. Item 16.3 is Martha's Road. I have a motion that staff take action as directed by council in closed session. I can move in a second, moved by Councilor Burns, seconded by Councilor Reggie Sonko. Councilor Burns? Yes. Councilor Buckwell?
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
Councilor Reggie Sonko?
Yes.
Yes, it's carried. Okay. Item 16.4 is the Communications Committee, and I have a motion that council directs staff to proceed as directed in closed session. I'm going to go over to second, moved by Councilor Robinson. Seconded by Councilor Buckle. Councilor Burns? Yes. Councilor Buckle?
Yes.
Councilor Robinson?
Yes.
Councilor Reggie Sonko?
Yes.
Yes. Carried. Thank you. Oh, 17 is our confirmatory bylaw. The bylaw 2022-36 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council for June 21st, 2022. We read it first and second time this 21st day of June, 2022. Seconder, moved by Councilor Burns, seconded by Councilor Phone call. We read a third time and finally passed this 21st day of June 2022.
Yes.
Councilor Buckwell,
Yes.
Councilor Robinson,
Yes.
Councilor Rankin phone call.
Yes.
Yes. Carried, thank you. Finally, have a motion that this June 21st, 2022 regular meeting of council adjourns at
9:03.
9:03 PM. Moved and seconded. Councilor Robinson, Councilor Rankin phone call. Councilor Byrd. Yes. Councilor Buckwell,
Yes.
Councilor Robinson,
Yeah.
Councilor Rankin phone call.
Yeah.
Yes, very, thank you all so much for